All right, guys, back at it with another bang of the day, guys, on episode 3 of the 2wild podcast. And got my brother Harrison Nevel in the building, man. If you saw the first one, you saw us talk a lot about Travis Scott, talk about releases, how we met, and what he got going on. And I wanted to kind of, we decided to follow up once again with another episode talking about YouTube, because it's just a lot that we can talk about it, and we love to talk about it. So, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So where you want to start off at?
I don't know. One of the things that you left off of in the last episode was like Tony and I both were married, and how what we do affects our wives in our life, because it's different from your traditional, you go to work, you and your wife go to work, you come home, whatever. Like, there's a lot of things that go on. Like, I even think, so I'm going to New York next weekend, and like I want to make it a non-work trip, but then I got invited to be on the full-size run for Complex, so I'm like, well, I'm going to do that, because, it'd be cool to go on that show. I watch a lot of it. And then it's like, should I film a video while I'm out there? It's like, even little things like that, like, it's hard to disconnect from, like, well, I'm traveling, let's get some content, and how it affects them. Because, like, when my wife and I were dating, we were doing long distance because she was at school. And so, like, my schedule would be, I was still in college at the time.
I remember that. I won't remember college, but I remember the dating. Yeah.
But like when I was still in college, I was working a regular job and doing YouTube and driving 3 hours every weekend to go see her. I was on like a crazy, like that was like my crazy grind mode. Like, I'm grinding now, but like it was like too much back then. But like doing that, like I had to balance that. Like there'd be times where like I did the Keymaster video. We filmed that. You did that with me.
Yeah.
You alley-ooped me that one. And I spent $1,000 on the Keymaster, and I posted that video, and I drove to her.
Yeah.
And so I was gonna stay with her for the weekend, but that video popped off and had, like, I can't remember it. I don't know what the views were.
Was it the double one? That the first like con double?
It was the $1,000.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember the views. It was probably like 100K a day or like 200K a day. And like at that time, I had like 150 or 200K subs, maybe. Like, so it was like crazy numbers. So I was like, you
had to ride that wave.
Like, I gotta do this. So I went with Sophie. I stayed that night. I left at 5 a.m., drove home, filmed another Keymaster video. That same night, drove back to Sophie at school and edited the video there, and then hung out that day and had to leave the next day.
Yeah.
Like, it was.
I think though we're lucky with this because, like, it's a huge difference in meeting a girl that's, your girl, whatever at the time, like beginning relationship when you're already doing YouTube, than when you don't, because that's what's usually the number one, like, I think, like, problem in relationships is change, or the drastic change. Yep. Like, if you're a guy that always does one thing and then you change, or you start drinking, or you start going out and you never did that. But like Nicole met me, I was doing YouTube, and when Sophie met you, you was doing YouTube. But y'all go back to high school, right?
Yeah, she knew before YouTube, but like,
but when it got serious, I mean, you were doing YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's like they know what comes with it already. So that, like, I feel like that part kind of is why we don't have that issue as much, because the women that we're with knew what we were doing way before then and kind of knew what came with it. And then Nicole dealing with film, it also played a part, like, and making everything easy. I got a question though, because I never even thought about that till now, but when you look at it from your aspect of your channel, it could go both ways, but you would know more. Did the mystery boxes pop you off more, or did the Keymasters pop you off more?
Mystery boxes by far. So the mystery boxes were like the first thing that I could consistently pull views on something, and the Keymasters was something in between that involved an aspect of mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's the hardest part about YouTube, is finding something that works, not overdoing it, and also trickling in content in between to keep it alive. So you're not just like not only posting once a month of these mystery boxes, for me it would be, and trickling things in between that people are also interested in, so you can stay consistent.
No, I definitely agree. Unfortunately, I failed to. When I got them early series, I kind of milked it, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped doing it, because I just did too many. But at the same time,
it's hard not to when
it's hard not to when it's like when it's doing well, but it's constant shoes coming. Like right now, it hasn't been really much of anything dropping, so there's not been that many of them in this.
I think it's too, in my opinion, you know more than me because you paid more attention to reaches. I think there's too much dropping to where it's less interesting things dropping.
Yeah,
Like, people aren't
I
as
got you.
excited about releases because there's so many dunks, there's so many this and that.
No, definitely. It's like desensitized
Yeah.
people in a way. But yeah, I mean, another thing that's kind of crazy about the Keymaster thing is when you did it, the wave of Keymasters had already went.
Yeah,
Like
this
Kais was
2
like the
years
one.
after.
Yeah, like Kais was like doing. He was winning. I mean, you were winning too. So it's like I guess you're both playing it. But it's just funny seeing how YouTube is a cycle of things. Like
Yep.
when you think something's dead, it's not necessarily dead. It can come back. It's just weird how it comes back.
And I just
like,
had another Keymaster wave like 6 months ago.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
4 months ago. I
Oh
had
yeah,
some
at the
drama.
mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good video though. Like that was like a great idea. Like, cause like, and it's with me. Like I know I have these ideas, but I sometimes need to think outside the box. Like
But
you get stuck in that. Like it's like YouTube's like tunnel vision. All the great ideas can be right here, but you don't see it because you're looking right there. But like what you always said, what most people always said, like with YouTube, the way to really make it is by trying to find content that can be relatable to people that are like on every day. Like everybody passes those Keymasters in the mall, but nobody's ever done what you did. But they've always wondered what that would be. So it's like
it's also like I found that a lot of the best content comes when you're uncomfortable. And like I didn't want to do those videos because I'm going to a random Keymaster that I don't know the owner of. That's literally in the middle of a store or middle of a mall. And it's not like going to a sneaker store that I know the owner. It's like, this is literally some random guy owns this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dump as much money as it takes until I win a shoe.
And you got racks in your pocket.
Yeah,
like you're
exactly.
just going through and people are looking at you pulling this money out.
People are watching me do it. It's awkward and like it's uncomfortable. And then it did well. And then I ended up taking down the last video when I got like scammed. I don't know if you saw. Do you see the one where I got scammed?
Nah.
Yeah, I stopped it because I won in the machine 3 times and it went through, didn't spin. It went through all the way. I know how the machines work. I bought a machine. I owned a machine in my own house. Like, so I know what the machines do. It went through, didn't spin, came back out. I was like, that's a little weird. I'm gonna try it again. I did it 3 times. And I had already put $1,000 in at that point, and I was gonna keep going till I got these Travis Scott Jordan ones. But I was going for something on the side. I had like taken a break, went for that one, and I got it. I messaged the people who run the store, and essentially they said if you don't have the item in hand, you didn't win. And I was like, look, I put $1,000 in, and I was about to put another 1,000. I'm not gonna keep doing this if I go for this shoe and I don't get it because it like. And I was like, it's got to be a machine malfunction. So he's like, I'll go check it out. And he said, it's not a malfunction. Sorry. And I was like,
did he know you had a video on it?
Yeah. I told him, I was like, look, I'm going to do content on this, and how people take it is how they take it. They blew that page up. And it wasn't that. And I took the video down because of that, because I felt bad. I didn't want to have beef with somebody. Like, I know I was in the right, but like, I didn't want to put negative energy like that out there. And like, I just think a lot of people were saying, and like, if he thought about it in terms of like, financially, that hoodie was $200, maybe cost him less than that. He would have made 10 times that or 5 times that just in that day by giving me the prize that I won. I mean, I won the prize. It's not like I'm like, I won it and I really didn't. Like, I showed him video. I sent him video of it going in and not working. And so it was like, he, on a business end, like I probably spent more money on that. I spent $3,000 on that machine in 2 weeks. That's probably a lot more than that machine was making consistently.
Exactly.
People,
you should just
people throwing $5 in here and there.
What is $200 hoodie to $3,000 that this man gave you?
That's
what I'm saying.
And so they ended up taking that machine out of that mall. It's moved.
Damn.
I don't know what happened because people were commenting, I'm going to call the mall and tell them this and they're scamming. And I said in the video, I tried to block out the name and stuff. I tried to like be like, guys, don't go after them. Like, this is what, but it's the internet. They're going to find it.
I kind of felt kind of bad a similar way recently on Twitter. I made a joke about people renting sneakers, and I kind of made the joke, but the company, I felt bad for the company. Yeah. They made a tweet like this morning, and it was like, please help me, mommy. And I was like, I didn't mean to knock your company. Like, what you're doing is like, hey, if you're making money, you're making money. I don't want to knock the company. It's the people, and I even talked to someone recently that does the rent the sneakers, and it's like, I don't knock you. It just doesn't seem like it makes sense. But then even people made other comments that I kind of was like, okay, like people rent shoes for weddings all the time and stuff. So,
But it depends on what it's for. If it's like to flex, it's one thing. If it's for like a music video, that makes sense because if you're going to wear it
exactly,
that one time,
even that
but
like,
makes sense. If you're doing it to go to the mall for a day and like have a shoe to stunt. It's like,
yeah, I just it just seems like a lot of like extra stuff when you could just buy something a little bit less. Probably, you know, it is what it is.
There's still a lot of great options out there. Like you don't have to have.
Yeah.
Like what I'm wearing today, these are $180.
Oh, don't show Kais those.
We can like them.
No, that's his like favorite shoe of the year.
This is my second pair. I've destroyed a pair.
Yeah.
I wear these like all the time. Like I don't walk around in 10, like people who I have a ton of shoes. Yeah, I don't walk around in $5,000 shoes every day.
His favorite shoe last year was the Blazers, right? Probably now, but the Blazers 71s, right?
That used to be them, but I had 10 pairs and I kind of beat them down.
Yeah.
But like I will say the one shoe I've been wearing that's hype consistently is the Fragment One Lows, Travis Fragment Lows, just because it's like it's a great colorway and it's a good looking low shoe. So I've been into lows more lately. Like I go back and forth between like one highs and one lows, but these ones, they're just easy to wear. It's like they're super simple and they're so much better than the highs. The high version of these materials.
Unfortunately, I let mine go, but I'm okay with it. But they don't look bad. But
they're cheap. They're $180.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you, are you going to get into the Keymaster in your office?
I wish I would have kept it because I sold it for $2,000.
Damn.
Like I should have kept it because
this would be cool in the office.
It definitely would. I mean, if somebody slid me a deal, I traded those for Off-White Jordan 1 Chicago's. I traded Jordan 1 Chicago's for a Keymaster.
Oh, and I remember what it was now. I was just
gonna $2,000 for them. So
I was just gonna say with the renting, and this is not directed at that company. It's not directed at this particular company at all because I don't know them. But it's like renting shoes and then still running the risk of renting fakes. Like you know.
Yeah, imagine if you rented fakes. That would be crazy.
Yeah, so you know it gets kind of wild, but it is what it is with that. But back to YouTube. The wife part we talked about already, you know, and for the most part, I mean, Nicole totally understands. Sophie totally understands for the most part, right? Like at this point.
The only thing that's difficult is like kind of, so there's some weird aspects going in. Like I would say almost every time I leave the house now I get recognized, which is like wild. And so like she's had to get used to that, which she's fine with that. It's like we haven't had really any bad interactions. We had people who like yelled my name out and were like, Harrison, I love your videos. But like we were walking down the road, so I didn't hear them. And Sophie didn't hear anything either. She's heard somebody yelling. She's like looked over. And then that person like DM'd her like, Harrison is the most rude person ever. Why wouldn't he say hi to somebody who supports him in his videos? And I genuinely like, I didn't hear him. I was walking on the road with Sophie talking to her and someone just screams from like, you know, I don't know how far away. So it was like stuff like that. But like, that like this how it's been scaling, it's a little hard because like I said, like there's a lot she has to make some sacrifices in terms of like privacy. When we travel, privacy not as much. I do like I try my best to keep really private. Like now that I have my work away from my home, like my home hasn't even been on the internet. Like I like that. But like there's sacrifices in terms of like giving up time for when we travel and doing things, and like when I have to come home to film a video, and now like I have a management team and like I'm interviewing assistants. Like I'm looking at assistants. Like there's like craziness and to like help take things off my plate. And like now I have 2 people working for me, and I'm looking to get like 5 people total. Like it's scaling now, and it's like a little difficult, but I don't know. I like through it. Like she's obviously was there before I was making any money on YouTube, and now I'm making there's no difference. So like. That is great, and a point that you're making on that, like, I don't know if you think about this, but imagine, I can't think about, like, if right now, like, if I was single, like, trying to, date. Manage dating girls, because, like, intentions, because, like, no matter, like, even if somebody has, like, 100K on Instagram, like, people think that that's crazy, and they want to get with them because of that, and, like, imagine, like, having cars and this and that, and, like, a lot of content built around money. Like, I can imagine trying to, like, see intentions of a girl. Like that's why I'm glad, because I'm growing up I was never one that was like I was not woman driven. I've got friends who like all they cared about in like high school was like getting girls and going on dates, and it's not, that wasn't me. I was like focusing on I was playing Call of Duty, like that was like my thing. But like I can't imagine that aspect of things. And like I guess we both like the more grounded life. Like we're not in LA. Like we're in our home state. We bought a house where we have a wife, we have animals, and we have our family. That's that's what I like. That seems like
we have stuff that you can't easily just get up and go.
And I don't like LA has always been, there's always been the talk like why aren't you in LA? You should go to LA. Even when I had like 150K subs and I was going to like the Cloud House and stuff, it's like, you should move out to LA. It's like, it's not.
Nah.
I wanted to make it in my own town because I know when I leave LA, if I go make it in LA, I leave my town. What do I have?
Yeah.
I can't do what I want to do outside of LA. I mean, you can, but like that's how I looked at it.
No, I mean, like with me, in all honesty, like in high school, I was playing games, but I was definitely like womanizer.
You're woman driven.
Yes, like I was going to the party trying to link with girls and stuff, and
I did my fair share, but not like my buddies.
That's how I feel though. Like I feel like I really did a lot, and people that know me, they will agree. Like Tony was.
You got out of your system.
Yes, I got a lot out. So come like 23, when everything started coming up and I started meeting Nicole, like I was like kind of cool. Like I've been through a lot, and I do think about like how it would be if I was single. Not like I wish, but I thought about like, damn. In all honesty, though, how I am now, if I was like single, I wouldn't be trying to go get booty. You know,
you'd just be trying to chill at home. And
yeah. What really well was worrying me though is like how much more would I be working? Because I literally, in reality, I don't know if it's like I enjoy it or if it's just me just so fucking addicted to like the growth and seeing things work. But if I wasn't with Nicole, me stopping and going downstairs and hang out with her would be me staying upstairs still working.
Yeah.
You know, whether I'm playing the game, shooting a video, twitching, something, like I would be constantly on that 24/7 almost. And it's not healthy, but I think that's what the balance is, and she helps me with that, because if I didn't have her, I would be working. If I didn't have her, I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be trying to go get like some pussy. I would be working more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but then it's the balance of the unhealthy work.
Yeah, it'd be unhealthy to the point where like, bro, like,
but you also would have to think you may have that like distraction of like, because imagine you like start dating a girl for a little bit, you want to give her some time the first month or two, and then it's like it doesn't work out. Well, that time is gone now because you're trying to, because that's what I see. Like I have friends that like they get involved with a girl and it's like everything goes out the window, and it's like I've never been like that, and it's like their work and everything. So like maybe, you know, that time would be lost somewhere else, you know, doing other things, but for your mental, that's what's all worth it. And having that like normal traditional like that ground relationship, I feel like helps in what we do.
Yeah.
To like just get your head away for a second. Like, look, let's stop, you know, recording a video or thinking about ideas and all that. But not everybody needs that. But like I personally need that.
Nah, yeah, I definitely need it, because we live in, especially us, we live and work in digital world. And we sometimes need to get back to the physical, what's around us, you know. So that's why I buy stuff like a pool and try to make this so that I can focus on the physical in front of me, because otherwise I will be glued on to that. So that's like the best. And like having a woman, having animals, those are things you can grow attachment to in your physical world. Because if you don't have none of that and you're just in the LA loft, you're just glued to the computer and the view outside, like, or whatever, like. And you remember that, like, we all went through a little phase, like, even then, which was, like, it was great, but it was, like, an autopilot moment, like, those sneaker cons, travel, camera every moment out, like, all these places we traveled, I had a great time, but a lot of the moments I wish I could have put the camera down and enjoyed the moment more. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you want to, like, for instance, take these travel, you don't want to bring Sophie with you, because it's like you can't even enjoy that.
Yeah.
And that camera can sometimes take away from that, because it's like it's a distraction.
And I think that was a part of because I think people have you have in careers, things you have like a mode of where you're like grinding through college, or you're grinding through this or this position to get to that position you want. And like, we're not at the position, like we're not at like, we're done, but it's like, you have to go through that period to build it where you're like just grinding. And like, I haven't looked back on times when we're like going traveling and doing the sneaker cons. Like, that's a pretty crazy thing to look back and like talk about how much we traveled across the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not a lot for some people, but like, when you look during COVID times, we didn't even freaking travel. It's like we were going every month, maybe sometimes twice a month,
2, 3, yeah,
and going to different states and meeting people and going to these shows. Like, that's a cool thing to look back and say that we got to do, even though like it didn't seem that crazy, but it's just still a cool thing to do. Like,
yeah. Nah, I mean, in reality, well, I can't say, but I mean, there's a lot of creators that are bigger than us that don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to think of a creator, but I don't want to say it and sound stupid, but there's just tons of probably phase people that have not shooken hands of their followers as much as me and you have. Because you think about how many places we've been, thousands of people with handshakes. A lot of these guys might not even go to events. They might just go to like a tournament.
Or they're too big now to where it's like they can't have that one. And I think some of them do, but it's like, you're not like cornering out phase. It's just like in general, like big creators.
Big creators. I'm just thinking of like a big.
When you're in LA, it's more difficult because everybody there is trying to be somebody. So it's not like there's not like your followers. Like, but when you're in like Atlanta, these are people that live here that are here like because they live, and it's not. They're not in LA trying to make it kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, LA is like everything multiplied as far as like just how it is. Like you go to Melrose, like there's certain places that me and you and even other creators that can go to that you know you're gonna get recognized. Like you have a good, high chance of being recognized when you go into a sneaker store or like compared to going to Cracker Barrel or some shit like that. Like you're not gonna find nobody that, but maybe. If you're a food eater, I don't know. This like it just depends on the genre you're in. But I'm curious to know like what's your thoughts on the current climate of YouTube and like the change and all that. Like, it's always a change. It's always a different algorithm. And I'm curious to know where you think about like for sneakers in general. Is it where you at with it?
I think I've always been in the mindset of like I like to stick to what I know in my mind works because algorithms change, things change. Like at one point YouTube liked daily content, at one point YouTube liked 4-minute content, and for me, I've stayed the same content or the same format that I have the entire time. I post at 6:00. I don't post on the same days. The days vary. Now it's like Monday, Thursday, maybe Tuesday, and then I do what I know has worked in the past, and it has done well for me. I try not to change anything based off of what YouTube likes, and like because like there's little things like YouTube Shorts, they want you to push for that, but it's like I don't want to do it on my main channel because that can mess things up. Or like that happened with you once with live streams on your main channel, like you didn't realize it was affecting your numbers. So I stick to what I know, and that has worked for me. And I think just I think the ideas has kind of been what's kind of pushed me as far as it has of like I just have been willing to like try anything. Like I just recently bought all the Off-White 50 collection, all 50 pairs, and that cost me $28,000. And it's like not a lot of people are willing to just drop $28,000 on some shoes for some videos. But like for me, I made all my money back off the content already, and then I'm gonna sell the shoes. It's difficult, but like I'm not scared to take risks, and I think it's just like a belief in myself that like I know I can make this work. Like at the beginning when I quit my job and was out of school and everything, I like had that worry of like, did I just screw up because I had a regular job and whatever. But then like since probably 500,000 subs, like I knew like I'm in this for the long run. I'm not gonna it's not gonna fizzle out overnight, which is the worry with YouTube.
Yeah. All right, my bad. We're back. I had to put on a hoodie, man. It was getting kind of chilly out here, but Harrison was going in. Go ahead and start from the top.
Going in. I was just saying.
Tony has friends or whatever. Ask questions.
Tony calls his YouTube friends and just asks a bunch of questions, and whenever he's wondering, should he do this with the channel, that with the channel? So I don't know where exactly we were.
Well, that was where you were right there. And salutes to the YouTube friends that are watching this, probably laughing, like Kais and them and whatnot. You, Jacob, and all the. But yeah, I mean, as far as for me, man, like. I don't know if it's been like with me, like my whole YouTube career, I've always tried to do different things and that probably hurt or whatever. I don't know. But at the same time, like the demographic, the dynamics of what I do in sneakers itself has like went up and went down, went up, went down. Like, I feel like right now it's like a really low. It's really low. Like it's different. Like, and it's always like around September. It's like a switch. And during those switches, man, I don't know. It's always tough to like come back or like figure out what I want to do next or what, some people, definitely a lot of friends of mine just tell me just to keep posting and push through it. At the same time, like I don't want to stay doing the same thing though. Like I want to evolve, and I've always felt like I've evolved over time. So it's like it's a constant battle that I have to do within myself, like in this thing of YouTube. Like whatever I do try I've tried so many different things like on YouTube and just in social media in general, and maybe that has been maybe hurt. Who knows? You know, from just all the different things out there. But like right now, man, like reviews and the vlogs and all that, the things that were working are not working now. And I don't know if this is oversaturation of what I do or what. You know, I don't know where they're at this point.
Yeah, that's what's weird with YouTube, and it's harder with like, because whenever you ask my opinion and stuff, I'm different in the fact of like my content has never been like directly like sneaker reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
So like mine has always been a little broader, and I feel like a good chunk of my audience is like isn't there just because they like shoes, like they're more entertainment wise, and so it's like there's two aspects with YouTube with like trying to grow, and I think not your and eye level, but like when you're like small, how you grow and get people to watch your videos is to make videos on things that are interesting, and then over time they get invested in you. But like beginning, I was making videos on tutorials on how to wear Vans and like how to lace your Vans and how to dress like this. Like it was tutorials and teaching people how to do stuff. And then over time, it like now I obviously can't just post a video about nothing now to get views, but like I can do a video on car content that'll pull 150K views because people have started to enjoy that side of me, not just shoes. And so it's hard with YouTube because it varies per person. Because you can look at like Kais changed things with making sneaker vlogs and that aspect of things. So it's like and I guess you could talk like somebody like Fomer Simpson. He makes similar content where reviews and stuff, and he kind of changed his. And like I go through the same thing every year where like I feel like there's like a month or two where things are just weird. Can't come up with the content that I want to. Things slow down, and then that usually forces me into a corner where I have to be like, all right, I got to get my shit right because I can tell this is going a little slowing down a bit, and then that's usually when my best ideas come. And then like right now, I'm kind of at the tail end of one of my big pushes, and this happens every year right around this time. And then like beginning of December, I usually like click and I get that big video, and then I can ride that for like a while. Like I think this year's would be the 250K mystery box when that comes out. I'm planning for December CPMs. Like it'll just go nuts. And like that's another side of YouTube people don't see, like the CPM side. Like YouTube varies so much. Like one person can get 1 million views and make, $2,000. The same person can make, or another person can make $10,000. Like it varies so much. And it's like people don't understand. Like when you look at like websites that report earnings and stuff, it's like
it's cap. That's one thing that people don't quite understand. And I'm not, believe it or not, like it sounds corny and cliche, but I'm not driven by the money. I'm driven by the views and by the engagement I get with my audience. And one reason why is because at the end of the day, if I was basing everything upon money, even though views are down, I make more money every year because CPMs are rising. YouTube is getting more and more ad money.
And you're diversifying.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, 2017 was my biggest year ever on views, and I'm making more money on YouTube than that time in the CPM aspect. Just CPM alone. And then on top of that with endorsements, I'm making double. So like if I was getting the view, if I was to bring 2017's views here, it'd be insane. Like I said, the YouTube CPMs have went up and up. Even now it's going up. Like I'm at like back in the day it used to be like at 5 or something like that. Now it's like 7, 8, 9, 10. Like it's going up more and more. So if I was just to be, if I'm stressed, I stress myself about like, YouTube and the views and what to do and whatnot. If I was to stress myself based upon money, I would not be stressed at all. Yeah. And
it's I think a good way, at least for me, I think it could translate to you is like what you mean to like, not you mean what you mean about like not driven by money, but like the response. You like to see a good response to the work that you put out. Like
exactly.
There's a
creation
reward for, and not monetarily reward, but reward as far as like the idea you put out and all that. And like I'm the exact like I think money comes with when you're dedicated about what you're doing, and it's like I don't look at things from like I need to make this much money this month. Like definitely the beginning, like I have to make ends meet. Like the way that I could quit my normal job is YouTube. I was making about $2,000 a month. and I had around 160K subs. I've always had a higher CPM, and I got a brand deal for 12 months. I structured the whole thing. This company wanted to pay me month by month, like $1,500, and I was gonna say it, but whatever, I won't say it. They're not a thing anymore. But I got a 12-month deal at $1,200 a month for this app to do one video a month, and for me, it was basically like getting a salary of $1,200. So
I think I remember this.
I could, with that, my expenses were not expensive back then. My rent was like $600. Like my car payment was like $200, and so, excuse me, essentially my rent and everything that I needed every month was covered for 12 months, so I can really try the YouTube thing. And that didn't just come easy. It was like I had to work for that deal. Like there's a lot of free stuff that you have to do, is you take free clothes, free shoes, whatever.
Yeah.
And I structured that deal so that I could feel comfortable. And then now, like, obviously things change, and I just have always banked off that. Now I just signed like a 3-year deal that's like bigger than I could ever imagine. It's like well into the 6 figures. That is like, it's crazy how things change. And like all I have to do for that is I have to continue posting my content like as normal.
Yeah.
And like to me, you would think maybe I could chill a little bit, but it's like that to me, that's just another thing. And I think it happens to everybody. When you get to a certain level, it's like, it's cool, money's coming in, but like we're the type of people that's gonna find ways to make money regardless, because we're doing what we're doing. We can do it in another avenue, but YouTube is, that's why I think I move on from things quick. There's 2 things that are constant, 3 things constant in my life: Sophie, my wife, YouTube, and I think there's only 2. Those are the only 2 constant things in my life, I think. And so, like with that, YouTube is a chase, because there's always something to chase after, and you can't be done. You can't be done. And so, and even people people make living off of YouTube with like 50K subs. Like it's crazy. Like, so
if you know how to manage it well, you can definitely do what you can do. Like, like I still, even at this day, I don't make that much money, and I don't mind telling you, but like I make like $500 a month off Twitch, playing video games.
Yeah,
like that's fun. Like a great thing in my opinion. Like for me to, and salute to my people, like make $500 just doing what I already did. Like, just, and I have fun and I can chill. Like I don't feel pressured. Like that's why I enjoy doing it. So there's so many ways to do things, and that's why I always try to keep, like, one thing about me, man, I'm not the biggest, but and like you can I think like I'm a workaholic. Like I'll outwork a lot of people at the end of the day. And sometimes I even wonder, like, I've had these weird feelings, like it's a bad feeling, and I don't believe it, but it's like a feeling in the back of my head that sometimes, like, damn, am I like, have I worked too fast on my come up to where, like, I need to slow down to continue to go up? Because, like, I look around me, and it's not that many people who have a house, have their shit together. People are still, like, on the rise and on the come up. Am I at the finish line too fast to where I'm waiting on everybody else to get caught up, and then we can go to the next level? You get what I'm saying? Like imagine we're all running a race. I'm already at the finish line. I got this, like, thing, and I want to go to the next level, but I feel like I have to wait till everybody else gets there. I don't know what, it's weird. I don't know. It's a weird feeling, but
I don't think so. I think it's kind of like, the way that I look at it is, you're doing things at a younger age or at a different pace as people, but it's like, it's because I think some people are like scared to take risks. Like some people are scared to get married. Some people are scared to buy a house because they don't know if they'll have their job and this and that. And it's like, in order to do what we do, you have to take those risks to even do YouTube. So like, you're taking risks that other people aren't willing to take. So and obviously if you're talking in terms of YouTube, it's like, I just think everybody has their own pace, and it's like weird how it's like, I don't think it's predetermined, but it's like, it's just weird how it goes. Like, I feel like
even for you though, like, now I think about it, like, what I feel like you would feel even more, if I would feel even more, like, you're younger than me, you have a house and a wife.
Yep.
Like, and then you're like 20, what, you said 25, 26. Right? 26. And like I'm 30, and it's like, I feel like, damn, like, not like I don't want to get married on a house, but like, it's like, those are the things that people strive to get, and we got them already at this young age. And it's like, I don't want to like big up myself because there's still like so much more to do in life, but it's like we hit that. It's like you hit that top, and it's like you want to go up more top, but then like you don't know what it. But this, I mean, I know the sky's the limit at the end of the day. It's just like I don't know.
And that's no, I totally see that, and I've thought about that because, like, I look at it. I'm 26,
Married, house, McLaren.
I'm driving a McLaren every day. It's like that's what people work 40 years to earn the money to be able to do that.
Exactly.
And I've thought about that, and I look at it like I'm doing like I love YouTube, and because it's a never ending battle. But like, let's say one day I have to do something else. Like I can see myself having in my work life multiple lives, like living multiple lives. Like I feel like that gives us so much opportunity to do more in life. And like that doesn't mean like we're making money to retire right now and be done. Like even like I have friends like my buddy Hoss. He made a ton of money with his business, and he stopped, like he exited and made millions of dollars, and he stopped working for a little bit, and he did it all in that space, and now he's kind of like looking for that next thing, and he's found something that's his next thing. And I feel like we just like it's about finding what we're passionate about. Like a person like him, a person like you, like me, we're never going to be like, I'm not going to be, if I made enough money, if I had $100 million in the bank by the time I was 30, I'm not going to want to retire. Like, what am I going to do?
We're just not going to feel content.
We're not going to sit on my porch and be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, no, like I'm going to, like, even no matter how much money I'm making, I want to chase after what I'm passionate about. That's why it's not about the money, because if you're chasing the money, once you get it, what do you have? You have no fulfillment. And that's where like money doesn't rule stuff. Like the more money you make doesn't make you happier. It can create convenience in your life and allow more time, which is the most valuable thing, is time. But it's like, if you have to chase after what you're passionate about, and that's like, it's hard. Like even I have friends that like ask me like, well, I don't know what to do in life. I'm at this period because they'll be like 25 and not know what to do. And it's like, I always say, look at what you're passionate about and find ways that you can chase that, and don't look at the monetary aspect. And
yeah,
because that's what, like, I feel like if I look in the scope, like people would be satisfied at where I'm at right now in my life if they were, 50 years old.
I mean, exactly. And not to knock even other creators, but there's other creators out there that I see that like are on a rise, and they're not like on the wave. Like they'll just be posting like one video a month, but get million on that. But like you could do so much more. But I can't tell with the next person how they should do what they do. Yeah. They're there for a reason. But it's like when I see success, I want it more and more. I'm gonna keep going, more and more. Like,
see, for me, I've gotten to a point where I'm looking for kind of like clear headspace and passion kind of deal. Like,
yeah.
Like I've dealt with a lot of anxiety and stuff, and like when you're in that state, like to me nothing else matters except like getting my mind right. And like this past month is probably like my third highest revenue from YouTube month, and I probably posted like 5 videos. Like,
yeah,
and it's from recurring and all that, and it's like because I took that time to come up with the content and ideas and really, be patient with it. Because I don't think I can rush it. I can't force it to happen, because if I force it, then I don't think it's gonna play out, because like I'll get burnt out. And I think that's what it's helped me a lot, is being able to not get burnt out. And
I'm in a weird space. Like it's pressure. It's like, and it's probably me just being a Gemini. Like
I'm a Gemini too.
Yeah, like I forgot you. I remember you being a Gemini. So, and that's why we're always in our head. But it's like, I have 2 brains. So like one brain is the outside brain, and then one's the inside brain, and they're fighting. The outside brain is the guy that wants to like rub my back. And it's like, I'm in a state though where it's like, I have people hired for samples so that I can just focus on creating. I have people hired for peers so I can focus on creating and also making sure like things are getting distributed. I have people hired on Tonyd2wild to help with, editing so I can focus on creating. But it's like constant just fear of like a downfall, and it's like I've been fearing that for so long and it's never happened, but I can't get rid of that fear. And I don't know, and at the same time, I don't know if that fear's helped me continue to push. So it's like, do I want to get rid of that? Like what, but at the same time, I feel like if I can like just take time, I could do better. you know. But that, like you said, the anxiety and shit, like that shit's like a constant.
Because you could have anxiety from not posting.
Yeah, exactly. Like that itself. Like if I don't post for like a week, I start like, you know, that's how I am. Like I can't do that. And like Bull hasn't posted for a fucking month. I don't know how he does it. Like he'll go like 2 months. Like
I think it's just people's comfortability levels and what they're doing, and I think it may be different on my end because like some revenue is different, so like maybe it's easier for me to be able to take that time. But even like I went through a period where it was like that, where like I was constantly worried that it would go away. But then like, and I've told this to you of like how long we've been doing it. If we've made it this far with what we're doing, it's not just gonna go away. It could, you know, there's always the potential for it to go away, but it's not like overnight. It's like slowly, and like we've seen people on YouTube and all spaces who were hot and then they slowed down, but they're still able to sustain it even at a very micro level.
yeah.
And
I mean, right now, I don't know if you've seen, like this is where I'm at. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but like this month, like, well, from September to now, this is some like I'm talking about like the worst views like since like 2015. Like some really bad numbers I've been having. However, the content I've been making, I feel like it's fresh. So it's like I don't know if I'm in a state of where I'm just kind of recreate a new audience or what. But then at the same time, I feel like sometimes I'm still stuck in those old like thumbnails and old genre too, like the clickbaits and all that. Like people want direct content now, so like I'm trying to figure out what it is, but at the same time, I know that when I drop videos, I'm not like when I drop stuff that I'm trying to do new. It's hard to like do new content because I'm expecting to drop something, see it go crazy, and then like ride that wave, because that's what happens sometimes. But I don't see that happening, so like I'll try something. If it don't work, I'll try something else. If I try something, so like some people are saying you need to stay just doing that and build that audience up, and I've been doing that as well. But it's like right now, man, I don't know what the fuck. Like I'm in a weird situation right now because, like I said, like this happened back in 2017 and then 18. Like whenever September hits, September and October are like the worst months of the year, and then it usually can pick up around like December and then January, and it'll go good for like a good time. But I don't know, man. Like right now, it's like extremely odd place. Yeah. And then I see like, and usually I look around and see other creators doing similar things to me, and they're doing fine. So like, you know,
but you also could. It may look like that, but I feel like all creators, like people could look at me and think like, oh, he's pulling 200K views a video. He's not stressed about anything. But it's like, at the same time, I like yesterday, like I was doing a thumbnail. It took me 4 hours, and I was like stressed out to the point where I was like, I don't want to make another video for a month because like how much it stressed me out. So I feel like like we all go through our same thing, but we kind of keep it in because it's like it's our own game. Yeah, and you can't complain to your audience about, oh, this sucks. And I'm like, oh, you're making money doing this. It's like, suck it up. I think it's just YouTube in general, and it's a hard thing. And that's what another thing I was saying. Tony calls me and we have these conversations about like, what route should I go? And it's tough because I feel like if I ever feel like I'm going too far, like I went on a streak where I posted like 10, 12 videos without making a mystery box, and the views were consistent. And to me, that felt great. But then like, it's kind of like a fallback of like, I can always go back to that if I need to, which is not like a great thing. But like for you, I feel like it'd be like, you can go back to those reviews of the early reviews of sneakers coming out. And it's also hard because YouTube changes things to where like, I don't know if you've noticed, like sometimes some months you'll post a video and it'll start off at 10 out of 10. And then it'll be like 4 out of 10 after a week. And so it's like very discouraging at first, but then over time it does well. So what I've tried to do is to not get too caught up in the highs and the lows. Like when I go through a peak month, when I'm making an absurd amount of money, I don't sit there and celebrate like, oh my gosh. But when I also am having my worst month, I don't get down about it. I try to find somewhere in the middle because it helps me, like, it just helps me mentally not get discouraged regardless, or like too hyped, because like I don't want to be celebrating a victory for a year and then everything goes away because I'm like, oh yeah, I just did this, I made this much money. But because it's like that stuff, like to me it's like I don't know, that's just kind of like a mindset that I've tried. not noticed it until recently that I try to do that. So
Yeah, I noticed, like, for instance, like you said, with the 10 out of 10, like, you and Seth's battle was was number 10 of 10.
mm-hmm.
And then it ended up hitting, like, 30,000, and it's still going up.
Yep.
So, like, it did, like, when it first dropped, I came to you and, like, damn, man, I think the sneaker battle shit might be done for. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, and then it was, like, even, I don't know, maybe you said, or maybe it was Kais, but, like, yeah, nobody wants to, you know, he wasn't mean, but, like, you know, nobody's probably doing them as more because it was like a lockdown type of thing. Like, everybody's out now able to do stuff, so not everybody's going to feel that lockdown, so they might not watching as much. But then, boom, it just blew up out of nowhere, 30,000 views, and I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, well.
And that's the thing with YouTube that I think is, like, the part to try to not get discouraged, and how I don't is because I'm just like, if it's good content, it will get recognized over time.
I think one issue with me, and another thing, like, I suck at thumbnails, and I think that's
the worst. I'm telling you, yesterday I literally was I was doing my Off-White 50, trying to come up with a thumbnail, and I had all the boxes stacked up, and, like, one of the rows fell over while I was doing it. I literally just, like, threw every box in my warehouse. I was just like, fuck this. I can't do this anymore because it's so, like, thumbnails is everything in a video, and it sucks because, like, you could have amazing video and it doesn't matter if the thumbnail's not good. So, like, I've hired a thumbnail guy. I work hand in hand with him, and, like, I use like 50% of his stuff, and, like, it's like, if I would pay somebody $50,000 a year to come up with my thumbnails, like, it brings me that's the most stressful part of my job is thumbnails, literally. And it's like, it shouldn't be, but because it's just a photo, but it means so much. It matters so much.
I mean, you got to think of it this way, guys that's listening in. A thumbnail, how important it is. We could point this camera at this shoe for 10 minutes, and if Harrison Nevel gets a good thumbnail guy to make a thumbnail about Travis Scott's, 1 million people can click that video, and then when they click it, it goes to that. The video does not matter.
Yep.
It's the thumbnail.
Well, so there are aspects of it that do matter more now, which is the retention.
Retention, yeah. That would show you that if it's a clickbait. But still, like, you get the click-through. The click-through rate's going to still be high.
But the thing is like, YouTube won't promote it as much for people to see if the click-through isn't bad. But it's like, so, like, it does, the initial, like, surge, like, your initial views, the thumbnail is huge because, like, your viewers are the ones that are clicking it. And then, obviously, after to get people's attention. But that's what, like, but also, I think should be, like, a positive for you when you see that, like, the video does bad at first and it does well over time. That means you're reaching new people. That's how I always look at it, is like, all right, my video got 150K views the first 24 hours. I would have liked it to get 250, but would I rather get 250 off rip and then 0 for a month?
Yeah.
Or 100,000 more over a month with all those people being potential new subscribers?
Yeah.
It's like, because it's a hard balance of, it's always been a balance of other people, like, satisfying your viewers and reaching new people at the same time. I'll
say this, and I'm not going to say the person's name because I don't know if they want that to be said, but one person has always stated, and you probably know what I'm talking about, that they care about I'm not going to take this wrong, but they care about their subscribers. But when they do videos, they're trying to do videos to reach new people because they already got the people that's messing with them, watching them.
Yeah.
So they're trying to create stuff for new people to get the new person to come in. Because the people that's already there, they're going to watch it regardless.
Yep.
So, you know, I get what you're saying on that aspect.
And YouTube is, like, going away with the subscribe button. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just homepage at this point. It's been, like, it's obvious now.
Like how I watch my video, I go to subscriptions.
I go to subscriptions. Yeah. I don't go to homepage, but there's times when people don't pop up. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like something, I don't know if I'm not seeing them. I unsubscribed to a lot of people because you remember I had a lot. I went and unsubscribed to a lot of people so I can get my, like, people that I really watch.
What you want to see, yeah.
But the other thing that's also a problem, not in, like, a bad way because it is what it is, but the live content. When I go to my subscription, I have, like, 5 people live, and it's like you got that along with scheduled stuff now. So that's just pushing you. Like, when you drop your video, it's pushing you down. You normally be at top, but, like, if somebody's live, they're always at the top of your subscription now. So it's like, it's a lot of things that YouTube is doing and changing, and the notification bell, like that.
And that's why I just try to stick to what I know, and, like, because I can't, that's all that I can control, is, like, all I control is how much is what I put out, and I can't control how YouTube pushes it and all that, and I just try my best, and it's worked. But it's like, you know, it doesn't always work, but that's how
I got a question. So what? Because I mean, I definitely could agree. Not that I couldn't think of anybody else, but who do you feel like is the closest content creator to your type of content?
I don't really think that there's somebody who's like that similar in what I'm doing as like an individual in sneaker space.
Yeah.
Like I don't really compare myself to really anybody. Like I'm a numbers guy where like to me when I hit milestones of subscribers it's like a huge thing. Like
I feel like you're in the middle in a way. Like, and when I mean
like
the middle,
between sneakers and
everything, because
yeah, I
like
think so too.
mystery boxes, people do that, like a salute to Untied Hawaii or whatever. So there's a mystery box realm. You touch that. Sneaker reviews in a way, or the vlogging style, at least the vlogging sneakers, you do that on your stuff.
Yeah.
Top 10s, you do that as well. The review side, you don't really review, but you're showing and talking about the shoe. You're reviewing it in the video, so you're getting a little bit of that as well. So early stuff, like what I've been doing, you do that as well. So I feel like you're like that's what
I dabble in everything. I'm not tied to one thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think helps grow my audience, because I've got the people who like early stuff. I got the people that like mystery box. I got the people that like Keymasters, and I got the people that like cars, like that kind of thing. So that's why I don't think that there's any specific one. Like I like to look at the numbers overall of like sneaker YouTube and like kind of just see like how far I've come in a way. Cause like I remember like when I first started watching Kais, he had like 600K subs, and I had, or not when I first started watching, when I met him, and I had like 150K, and Kais, exponentially grew and all that. And like to see how, like, cause when I first was watching Kais, I looked at myself as a small fry in comparison to him and what he's doing in the space. And now like, it's like a even playing field of like, I'm a peer in the space, not like just a small guy making videos.
Yeah.
And like, if like looking at the whole of sneaker YouTube, like who would you say is like the number one most subscribed? Like when you look at strictly numbers,
Yeah.
I think Blazendary, he's still been number one. I'm like 30,000 off of him, but like he to me has been like the number one overall. Now it differs like when you look at like views and stuff, because Blazendary's taken months of not posting and back on, and like the numbers things are different, but like overall like subscriber count, like it's fun for me to like challenge myself to see like where I can go with it.
Nah, I feel you. And I mean, you're definitely up there. I feel like when it comes to like who's doing it big on the sneakers end right now is like you, and I feel like Seth is moving.
Seth. And I feel like Seth, I guess Seth would probably be the closest one, because Seth, like I feel like he tries
different things,
goes for more mainstream as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's killing it, and I don't know. He has a little different touch to him, and I feel like, not even trying to big myself up, but I feel like what I was doing at the time and coming up was new, but then everybody took that formula, because it's not a problem, because I took formulas from other people too.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing now is not as unique, because that's become like the way to do it. You feel me?
The normal, yeah.
Yeah, so like, the B-roll on the sneakers, the sneaker pickup vlog, and doing this and that, like those were things that I kind of did, and I might have got inspiration from Bull or from Foamer, but I created my own little twist to it. But even then, that was then passed down to people that coming up, they took, a little twist of. So it just all became kind of a grouping of similar things. So now I'm trying to do little different things with twists, like trade up challenge, like which I've gotten inspiration from you, but the road trips, that's something I did as well, different, on my own. So I'm just trying to do different things, but it's a whole different audience now. So it's like a risk, but.
And I think that's where I think like you still do what works on the channel, which for you like early stuff, while dabbling that other stuff in.
Yeah.
So that like there's stuff for people to keep coming back for. So it's not like a complete shift. So you're still getting those people. Like you're still getting, like for me, I'm still getting the mystery box people inattentive while.
Do you feel like from the talk I had with you, like even back in September, well, I would say just for the past couple of months though, like from previously to now, do you feel like when looking at my channel, do you feel like there is a uniqueness coming back from like those type of videos, or do you feel like that still like puts me in that shoe-tuber category doing those?
I don't think so. It's just like trying to like, it's all about that balance. I feel like it's helping you like, because if you kept doing the same review and early each time, then it would be hard to grow from that.
Yeah.
Whereas like, but and I know it's hard, like numbers on YouTube at first, it's different because they're like
New.
they're smaller
yeah.
at first, and it's hard to get past that. But it helps you grow more, even though it may be small. If that's what you want to do, then it helps, because when people see it that you are passionate about it, then they are more likely to watch. And
yeah, I mean, I'm having fun shooting them, and we'll just see how it goes. I mean, the weird thing is, at the end of the day, like you said, what I said about other people, but even from the viewer aspect and in the stores and the people, I'm stressing about it, but people look at these numbers that I'm stressing about like, damn, that's good.
yeah,
and it's like,
they wish they had that.
Yeah, like people don't see that. Even the brands don't really like, as long like they like, I don't know, it's just weird, but we stress about stuff that other people don't stress about and don't see no problem with.
Yeah.
So one thing though, I definitely wanted to like talk about, and kind of even, I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but I have seen it. I've seen it even on my own comments from battles with you, and I know you personally, and maybe you want to touch on this, and now you don't have to. We can cut this part out. But kind of, I wanted to talk about your upbringing, because people think that I'm just gonna say the cliche, but like rich white boy coming up, and I know you, like I know about your family from what you told me at least, and your parents weren't like, here's son, here's money, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to, if you want to talk about it, let people know a little bit about you, in general, like that what's the word? Stigma that you've got, and even like Blazing got hit with that type of stuff too. So like I wanted to let you explain it, talk about it.
Yeah, because so I get those comments a lot, because they find some random guy who looks like he's 17 and I'm driving a McLaren. It's like, all right, this kid's parents are rich, and that comes with like me looking young and obviously being young and doing these things. And so my parents are not millionaires, here's some money. Like, my parents did what they could to take care of me, and I had, a great childhood. And when I turned 18, I moved out on my own, got my own place. Well, I was in college, actually. So I started going to college, and I worked through, I worked a part-time job, and it was in college, and then started YouTube by my junior year. And so after that, like, I moved out, and everything's on me, like my bills, everything. And with YouTube, like, my parents haven't given me $1 to start YouTube. Like, they didn't give me a penny, because it's like, so when I started, I was making videos on fashion. And so I'd go buy like shirts from H&M, $5 shirts, $10 pair of jeans. And I literally would return them because I couldn't afford to buy food that week if I spent all my money on clothing. So I'd like make a video with the clothing, make some outfits, and then return them, and then, do that again. And I did that for a long time to like kind of keep money flowing. Like, it's probably not great, but that I did that, but it's like, that's what I had to do in order to, because it's like, it's not like I was going to be on the streets homeless if I kept that stuff, but it's like, if I wanted to be able to keep doing what I'm doing, like, I can't just keep buying all this stuff and keeping it and having this crazy clothing collection. Like, I would keep like a $5 H&M layering shirt and then have like a hoodie over it, and that would be like my outfits always. And so that's kind of like where I was. And I think it's been hard to grasp at the beginning. I think it was harder to grasp people making money off of YouTube, because like I said, I had 150K subs and I was making overall probably like $4,000 a month. And like, that's great for a freaking 22-year-old. I was like just finishing college, like I don't think people understood the scale of it. I think people understand more now, but it's like, to me, I don't know where kind of exactly to lead it, but it's just like, I was, while I was in college, I had to pay for my own schooling, and I know what
it is. I would say this. I'd say probably 80 to 90% of your audience are within the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So they don't know Harrison Nevel with the Justin Bieber cut.
Yeah.
So that's the issue.
Yeah.
They just, first time they meet you, McLaren. Oh, his parents may be rich.
Yep.
They don't know Harrison Nevel Mustang. Harrison Nevel with the Mercedes, the C-Class or whatever, the one you had, the coupe, which are still good cars. Don't get me wrong.
No, they're great cars. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
That's why I was working at, because I love cars for so long. I'd put all my money to try to, have that. But no, it's
But even like with me, like my first car was a Buick, but like when I started doing YouTube, like when people started really seeing me on YouTube, I was even in some. I got the Buick in some videos, but BMW,
the 3 Series,
the 3 Series BMW, Mustang, Challenger. I had nice cars too. I didn't come from money at all. I just, cars are. That's like the first thing people buy before they buy a house.
If you're into cars, like that's what, and it's a lot more easy. It's a lot easier to buy that than like a house.
Yeah,
house is very difficult to buy.
House, you need taxes. Cars, you just need bank statements.
Yeah.
So
and houses, you have to put a lot of money down and all that. So, no, and it's like I see it, and it's for me, it's like whatever. It's like I'm young. That's gonna come with me looking like this and all that. But it's like I know. Like, that's why I don't like to touch on it all the time and like say like, oh, I came from poverty and stuff like that, because like my parents did what they could so I could have a great childhood. But like when I turned 18 and I started going to college, it was like, it wasn't even like my parents like saying like, you're done, you're out on the streets. It's like me, like I want to do my own thing. I'm out. Like I want to, earn my own way. And like with college, I was able to pay off my student loans 6 months after graduating because of like YouTube and stuff. And it's like, I paid my full way through college just off of YouTube, which is like crazy. And then obviously things go crazier after that. And it's like, I really don't think people understand the amount of money that can be made off YouTube, because like people will be like, oh, you like, yeah, you make money off YouTube, but you can't make enough money to buy a McLaren and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't think people understand the scale. If you know how to like outsource businesses and stuff, like I make just as much money, like more money off of brand deals as I do off of YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still making
that's 100%
substantial amount of money off of YouTube, and it's like to me like it's just because YouTube varies. Because like I think if you know how to diversify business, grow your brand consistently, if you have a good chunk over 1 million subscribers, you can make $1 million a year. I think that personally.
I mean, it's just like with basketball with players, like they make way more money on their endorsements than their NBA contracts.
Yep. And that's the thing is like if somebody just does YouTube, that's it, and they have 1 million subscribers, I don't think they're making that money. But if they can outsource and learn how to grow money and stuff like that,
like clothing, you can make other things, like
And that's what like somebody with 1 million subscribers can make 7 figures, and people don't. It doesn't make sense. But like if I came to somebody and I told them how much money I'm making, they'd be like, okay, well that makes sense why you can buy that stuff. So it's all just like an outsider's perspective, and people always have their opinion online. It's like it's only as much as you can let it affect you. And like I know Blazendary went through that early because he was like 16, and he was making tens of thousands of dollars a month. He was telling us,
exactly,
but he was spending like a madman.
Yes,
but nah,
I know, like the thing is, like I know over the talks with you, and I don't feel like it was nothing like too personal, but like from what I got from it was that like your parents always been there. They always been supportive. If you needed it, they got you, but you never took that route. Yeah. Like if you needed the money like really bad, it's not like your parents gonna say fuck you, get up out of here. But you took
the money. Like if
you took the initiative to like like I want to do this and I'm gonna do this on my own. So like they respect it,
But I think it's less like, hey, I need money. It'd be more like if I'm getting kicked out of my apartment because I can't pay my rent, my parents would take me back in.
Exactly.
They're not gonna let me. They're not gonna like have me be on the streets. And that's like. That is like something that some people don't have, and it's like I'm fortunate to be able to say like I can go to my like if I need a place to live, I can go to my parents' house. But like since I turned 18, I was in college. I was like I have to do my own thing. I don't care. Like, and I was living in a shitty apartment with a friend for a while, and like doing what I needed to do in order to get returning shit and doing all that stuff, so I could get to the point where I can. Do what I'm doing. And
I forgot about that shit. I just forgot it now. You had a damn roommate on FAR, right? Downtown?
Yeah, I remember it then. Yep.
Yeah.
Alex, I didn't necessarily need to have one back then, but I did because at the time I was down in the city and like it was expensive, and like I wanted to like make sure I could put more money into YouTube rather than like, so my rent was cut in half when I got a roommate.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Then I got married and Sophie became my roommate. But like,
I don't know. Oh yeah, I mean. Yeah, that's just something I wanted to hit on because, like, I see it, and I mean, I just know you well enough.
I mean, I wish my dad would buy me a damn McLaren. That'd be fucking sick. Obviously, I want to. It's more satisfying when you work for it, but like, if
I was rich, I wouldn't be ashamed of it. Like that's it. I wouldn't throw it and be like snobby, but like I wouldn't be ashamed to like say like I come from money.
The hard part is, and I have these conversations with my friends that are very wealthy. I'm like, I'm working my ass off to do well in life. You are too. And it's like when we get to the point where we have kids, like it's like you work so hard so that your kids have a good life. But then when you give your kids a good life, they get shit on in school. Like I was like that when I was growing up. I had kids in school that had parents had Ferraris, and I'm like, damn, that must be nice. I wish my dad had a Ferrari. And it's like, but then it's like I look at me and I'm like, I'm gonna be that dad that has a McLaren. Like I don't want to raise my kids. I want to and I know I'm gonna do it when I get there, but like I want to raise my kids in a way where that they're not snobby and brats and get everything they want. Because like as much as like my parents, like they're there for me and everything, like I feel like the support of your family, like your support of your family is like everything to me. Like I'm so close with my family, and like you look at Shaq, he's like I'm giving it's my money.
I'm rich.
I'm
rich,
it.
not y'all not rich.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't know if that's the best way to look at it, but like it's hard to find that balance. Like if you're making lots of money, how do you raise your kid in the right way to where they're not going to be brats? Because you want to do everything you can to provide for them, but you also don't want to make them brats. So it's like,
well, Shaq said in other interviews, and I agree with him, like he's willing to let his family and friends and kids get money from him, but they have to come to him with like a business proposal written out. And that's how I feel like it. I'll be willing to support anything my kids are trying to do, but it's got to make sense. Like you want to try something, I'll invest, you know? And I feel like that's just the best way to do it.
You can't just give your kid $1 million and be like, you're set. Like, cause like you look at, it's notorious. It always like, there's no motivation in that. Like, that's why I feel like I have the motivation I do is because like, wasn't a kid that grew up with like getting $1 million inherited from my family to like fall back on. It's like, I want to grind and go get this myself. I want to go do this. And like, I think you like that motivating factor. And I know it's hard in different people's scenarios because some people like can't afford to go and, you know, take that risk because they have to pay their bills, especially the older you get. And it's like, I understand that. And I'm very, you know, fortunate for how I grew up.
The perfect way to look at it for us too, like would be like how impactful is it going to be for my kids to get sneakers? Yeah. They're not even going to, and like I'm going to have so many sneakers still. I'll probably still be doing something of that matter when I have kids. So like a sneaker is not going to be much to them. Like, unfortunately, but I can at least make money matter. I want to make a dollar. I want to make a dollar amount matter. But like, what is a Jordan sneaker to Jordan's son? Yeah. He's had anything he's wanted his whole entire life. And that's like, you don't want that.
And I think one of the biggest things that like helped me like to where I'm at now with family wise is like my dad our whole life has been owned his own business. So he's since he was in his 20s, he's creating his own businesses and, you know, being an entrepreneur himself. And I think me seeing that helped me like not fall into that, like, because I feel like where you come from, like you're a product of your environment. So like if you come from a small town and your family does this specific, you know, thing, you have a family business, it's like easy to get caught up in that and not want to get out of that. But like seeing him be an entrepreneur, like when the market crashed, like he had to close his business and start all over, and like seeing that is like a motivating factor of like, I know like no matter what happens, like you can continue to do these things. And like that's where I feel like I've just kind of got this weird switch in my mind where I'm like, I can do whatever I put my mind to, it's gonna happen. Like that's how I feel. Like when I first wanted like an exotic car, I wanted like an Audi R8. I wanted BMW M4. I was like, I'm going to work as hard as I can and do what I need to do, and I'm going to get that car. I don't know how. I don't know where. I'm going to do it. Went to an Audi R8. Like that was like a huge moment where I was like, I can afford to buy $150,000 car right now. And I didn't know how I was going to get there, what I was going to do, but I knew that that was a goal of mine, and I did it. And so it's like, I just have that thing in my mind where I'm like, some way or somehow I'm going to make something happen, but I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. Like the warehouse, I was like, I need a space where I can work. I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to find a spot, blah, blah, blah. I found it. And now I'm able to, you know, do that. I don't know. That's just like the 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I feel that same way.
Well, I'll end it with this, Harrison, because there's one thing I've talked to you about, and I'm just curious, man, like when is Harrison Nevel going to have a Harrison Nevel product?
Oh, product?
You want to say Harrison Nevel kid?
Yeah, I thought you said Harrison Nevel Jr., yeah. I got to have a kid. I got to keep the Nevel name going. I'm the last Nevel boy. But,
yeah. Well, we know that's coming soon, but I'm saying, like, I'm surprised you haven't, like, created your own thing yet. Like,
so I've gone, so with that is we've been doing a lot of different testing and figuring out what I'm going to do because I don't want to do the traditional merchandise, whatever product. Yeah. And so we've teamed up with bigger parties to make that happen, and it's in process. Like
So are when you're saying all this, are you saying clothing, or you might not even do, like, you might come with something? Okay.
Way different. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So I look at it as I want to create a product that's useful and is affordable. I think that's what's valuable in the market. I don't think, like, I could do a clothing line, but like I don't care to be a designer. Like I want to create something that's useful, like something that has to do, like something that you could use in here with your set, like things like that. So like I won't say too much more, but like products that are useful for me that I can use and it's easy for me to promote them because
is it gonna throw me off though, or
no.
So it won't be like you creating like
maybe some of the products that we're thinking it could throw you off, but
okay. But I'm saying, like, all right, I don't want to get too much, but I'm not gonna ask too crazy questions. I'm just a little curious. Like, isn't it gonna be something? It wouldn't be something as a creator I would use, like a light or nothing like that.
No.
It'd be something like
for everybody.
Okay.
Sneakerheads. But that's the thing, we're trying different things and different products, and we're gonna see how things go.
Okay. Are we looking into 2022, or it might be take a little
probably
longer?
2022? Yeah.
Okay, bet. So, all right, y'all. So that wraps up episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like, comment down below, subscribe if you're on the podcast side, whatever this is on. Like it. Okay. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Salutes to Harrison once again.
Shout out
Harrison
ATL
Nevel.
fam. Shout out the Braves.
Yes, I wanted to talk about that, but I was like, we go on too long with that. So, ATL Braves, full effect champions. Yeah, we out, man. Peace.